Do you ever feel like you're stuck in a loop, just using the same basic English words to describe your life? You say, I wake up, I eat breakfast, I go to work, but it doesn't sound like you. It feels like you're reading from a textbook that's 20 years old.
Oh, that's such a common problem. You're living an interesting life, but when you try to share it in English, it all just comes out sounding flat and unnatural. You know there has to be a better way to express yourself, a way that sounds more conversational, more like a native speaker, but you just don't know the vocabulary.
Well, that's exactly what we're here to fix today. This isn't going to be a boring grammar lesson. Forget about complex rules and memorization. Instead, we're inviting you into our real, everyday lives to show you how we actually talk about our daily habits. I'm Michael.
And I'm Lucy. We're expert English coaches, and for the next few minutes, we're going to be your personal guides. We're going to walk you through our own morning routines, our work days, and our evenings.
That's right. We'll be sharing our own habits, the good, the bad, and the caffeinated. And along the way, we'll teach you the exact words and phrases you need. By the end of this video, you'll be able to describe your day in a way that feels natural, confident, and totally you. So, get comfortable and let's start talking about the first part of any day, the morning. Okay, Lucy, let's get into it. The morning. For a lot of people, this is the most important part of the day. It really sets the tone for everything that follows. I can kick things off. My morning routine is pretty straightforward, I think. The first thing that happens is my alarm goes off at 6:30 a.m. I'm not a person who can just wake up naturally. I definitely need that alarm to jolt me awake.
And see, right there. That's a great phrase, my alarm goes off. It's so much more natural than saying, my alarm rings. Goes off is what native speakers almost always say for alarms. So, your alarm goes off at 6:30. What's next? Are you one of those people who jumps right out of bed?
I wish. No, absolutely not. I am a chronic snoozer. I always hit the snooze button. You know, that little button that gives you just a few more minutes of sleep. I probably hit it 2 or 3 times before I finally drag myself out of bed. It's a terrible habit, I know. I'm not proud of it. I tell myself every night that tomorrow will be different, but it rarely is.
Oh, I can completely relate to that. Hitting the snooze button is the perfect way to say it, and calling yourself a chronic snoozer is a fantastic descriptive way to explain that habit. I used to do the same thing. I would often find myself in a rush because I'd snoozed for way too long. But a few years ago, I made a change. Now, I usually try to get up as soon as my alarm goes off. The phrase I use is, I get up right away. It means immediately, without any delay.
Get up right away. I like that. It sounds so decisive. So you don't snooze at all anymore? What's your secret?
Well, it's not easy, but the secret is putting my phone on the other side of the room. That way, I physically have to get out of bed to turn the alarm off. By the time I've walked across the room, I'm already up, so it feels a little easier to stay up. So, we have a few key phrases already. The alarm goes off, hit the snooze button, and get up right away. What's the very next thing you do, Michael, once you've finally dragged yourself out of bed?
The first thing I do, and this is another bad habit, is I check my phone. I tend to just stand there for a few minutes and scroll through my notifications, check emails, and glance at the news headlines. I know experts say you shouldn't start your day with screens, but it feels like a reflex. I do it automatically, without even thinking.
It's a reflex for so many of us. I tend to check my phone is a wonderful, soft way to describe a habit. It's less rigid than I always. It just means this is what you typically do. I'm guilty of that as well. Guilty of is a phrase we use when we admit to doing something we know probably isn't the best. I'm guilty of scrolling on social media for about 10 minutes. I tell myself it helps me wake up, but really, I'm just procrastinating. A better alternative, and something I sometimes manage to do, is to start off my day with a glass of water.
Hydration. That's a good habit. I've heard that's a great way to kickstart your metabolism. I don't do that. After I've checked my phone, the next thing I do is make my bed. This is a non-negotiable habit for me. I always make my bed, every single morning, even on weekends. It only takes 2 minutes, but it makes me feel like I've already accomplished something. It makes the whole room look tidier and more organized, which helps my mind feel a little less chaotic.
I'm so impressed. Making the bed is one of those habits I know is good, but I rarely do it, maybe only when we're expecting guests. My bed is usually a mess until I get home in the evening. But you're right, when I do make it, it feels like a small victory. You said it's a non-negotiable habit. That's a powerful way to describe something you're committed to doing. It means you won't skip it no matter what.
Exactly. So after the bed is made, I head to the bathroom. Notice I said head to instead of just go to. It's a very common, casual alternative. You can head to the kitchen, head to the store, head to work. It just means to move in that direction. Once I'm in the bathroom, I go through my hygiene routine. I brush my teeth, wash my face, and take a shower. I usually take a shower in the morning because it helps me feel fresh and ready for the day.
My routine is similar, but my order is different. I usually shower at night, actually. It helps me to wind down, which we'll talk more about in the evening section. In the morning, I just wash my face and brush my teeth. You said you go through your hygiene routine. That's a great umbrella term. A routine is just a sequence of actions you regularly follow, so your morning routine includes a smaller hygiene routine. It's a great way to summarize a bunch of activities.
That's a good point. So after my shower, I get dressed. I don't spend a lot of time on this. I usually pick out my clothes the night before to save time. This is a habit I highly recommend. It's one less decision to make in the morning when your brain is still kind of sleepy. So I don't pick out my clothes in the morning, I just get dressed.
Picking out clothes the night before is a fantastic life hack. I should do that, but I often just stand in front of my closet for 10 minutes trying to decide what to wear. I try on a few different outfits before I finally make a decision. Try on is a great phrasal verb that means putting on an item of clothing to see if it fits or if you like how it looks. So my mornings involve a lot more trying on than yours.
It sounds like it. Okay, so I'm showered. I'm dressed. Now for the most important part of my morning, coffee. I can't function without coffee. I head to the kitchen, and the very first thing I do is make a pot of coffee. The smell of the coffee brewing is what really wakes me up.
Ah, the caffeine habit. I'm right there with you. I'm a big coffee drinker too. I usually use a French press. What about you? How do you make your coffee?
I have a simple drip coffee machine. I'm not too fancy. I just put the coffee grounds in the filter, add water, and push a button. While the coffee is brewing, that's the verb we use for making coffee or tea. I start thinking about breakfast. I have to admit, I'm not a big breakfast person. I rarely eat a big meal in the morning. Often, I just have my coffee with a splash of milk and that's it. If I am feeling particularly hungry, I might grab a banana or a yogurt. The phrase, grab something, is a very natural way to say you're eating something quick and easy.
That's interesting. I'm the complete opposite. I always eat a proper breakfast. I find that if I skip breakfast, I feel tired and unfocused by mid-morning. To skip a meal means to not eat it. So you often skip breakfast, whereas I never do. My go-to breakfast is oatmeal with some berries and nuts. Go-to is a great adjective to describe something that's your favorite or most reliable choice. My go-to coffee order is a latte. My go-to movie genre is comedy.
Go-to. That's a good one. I'll have to add that to my vocabulary. So my go-to breakfast is, well, nothing. Just black coffee. So, to recap my morning, I wake up with an alarm, hit snooze, check my phone, make my bed, take a shower, get dressed, and then have coffee. It's a series of habits that get me from my bed to the front door.
And that's a perfect summary. My routine is a bit different. I get up right away, start with water, do my basic hygiene, waste time picking out clothes, and then have a proper breakfast while my coffee brews. It's fascinating how two people can have such different sets of habits to accomplish the same thing, getting ready for the day. And we've just learned a ton of vocabulary to describe it all. All right, so we've made it through the morning. We're caffeinated, dressed, and ready to start the main part of our day. For most of us, that means work or school. Let's talk about that. I can start this time. My workday begins with my commute. I don't work from home, so I have to travel to my office. I usually take public transportation.
How's your commute? Do you drive, take the bus, the train? Commute is the perfect word for that daily trip between home and work.
My commute is a mix of walking and a bus ride. I walk to the bus stop, which takes about 10 minutes. I try to think of this walk as a bit of built-in exercise. Then I catch the bus. The ride itself is about 30 minutes long. I usually use that time to listen to a podcast or an audiobook. It makes the time go by faster and feels a little more productive. To catch the bus or to catch the train is the phrasal verb we use. You don't take it in the same way you take a car.
That's a great use of your commute time. My commute is much simpler. I'm lucky enough to work from home most days. So, my commute is just walking from my kitchen to my home office. It takes about 30 seconds. On the days I do have to go into the office, which is maybe once or twice a week, I drive. I usually have to deal with a lot of traffic, which is a major downside. I get stuck in traffic quite a bit. It's a very frustrating experience.
Stuck in traffic is the classic phrase for that. Nobody enjoys it. Okay, so I've arrived at the office. The first thing I do when I get to my desk is settle in. This phrase, settle in, means getting comfortable and organized in a new place. I put my bag down, take my coat off, and turn on my computer. It's about creating a ready-to-work environment.
I do the same thing in my home office. Even though I'm already home, I still need to settle into my work mode. For me, that means making sure my desk is tidy and opening up all the apps and documents I'll need for the day. Then, like pretty much everyone, the first work task I tackle is checking my emails. To tackle. Something means to start working on a task, especially one that's difficult or requires a lot of effort. And my inbox is always a challenge to tackle.
Mine too. I can spend a solid hour just replying to emails and sorting through my inbox. Sorting through is a phrasal verb that means organizing things. After the email session, I look at my to-do list. I am a huge fan of to-do lists. I always write one at the end of the previous day, so I know exactly what I need to focus on. My main job for the morning is to prioritize my tasks. That means deciding which ones are the most important and need to get done first.
I'm a list maker too. I use a digital app to keep track of my tasks. To keep track of, something means to monitor it and stay informed about it. Without my list, I'd be completely lost. Once I've prioritized, I get down to work. This is an idiom that means to start focusing and working seriously. For me, this often involves a lot of deep work, long periods of focused concentration without distractions. I turn off my phone notifications and just focus on a single task for an hour or two.
Deep work is a great goal. My office is a bit more collaborative, so my day is often broken up by meetings. I seem to have meetings almost every day. Sometimes they're back-to-back, meaning one meeting ends and another one begins immediately, with no break in between. It can be exhausting. We have in-person meetings in a conference room, but we also have a lot of virtual meetings using video conferencing software.
Oh, I know the feeling of back-to-back meetings. Even when working from home, it can be draining. On very busy days, I sometimes feel completely swamped with work. Swamped is a fantastic adjective. Imagine being in a swamp where you can barely move. That's what it feels like. Another great word is overwhelmed. You can say, I have so much to do, I'm feeling really overwhelmed.
Exactly. And when I'm swamped, it's hard to even think about taking a break. But it's so important. I try to take a short break every couple of hours. I'll just get up from my desk, stretch my legs, and maybe go to the kitchen to refill my water bottle. It helps to clear my head, which means to stop thinking about work for a moment so you can come back feeling refreshed.
That's a crucial habit. I do the same. I set a timer to remind myself to stand up and walk around. What about lunch? The midday meal? What's your typical lunch routine?
My lunch routine varies. If I'm really busy, I might just have a sad desk lunch, which is what we jokingly call eating lunch at your desk while you keep working. It's not ideal. On better days, I'll take a proper lunch break. I usually pack my own lunch from home to save money and eat healthier. I'll eat in the office break room with some of my colleagues. It's nice to socialize and not talk about work for a little while. What about you, Michael?
Working from home gives me a lot of flexibility for lunch. I almost always cook a simple meal for myself. It's a nice way to step away from the computer screen for a bit. I might make a quick salad or heat up some leftovers from the night before. Leftovers is the word for food that remains after a meal. I rarely order food for delivery because it can get expensive. My lunch break is a strict 1 hour. It's my time to recharge for the afternoon.
To recharge. I love that verb. It's like plugging in a battery. That's exactly what a good lunch break should do. After lunch, a lot of people experience the afternoon slump. That's the period in the mid-afternoon, maybe around 2 or 3 p.m., when you suddenly feel very tired and unfocused. Do you get that?
Oh, definitely. The afternoon slump is real. That's usually when I have my second cup of coffee for the day. It's my strategy to power through the rest of the afternoon. To power through means to keep going and finish something even though it's difficult or you're tired. Sometimes, if coffee isn't cutting it, I'll do a few quick exercises like jumping jacks just to get my blood flowing again.
That's a healthier approach than my second coffee. I find that if I have a really challenging task, I save it for the morning and use the afternoon for easier, more administrative tasks that don't need as much brain power. As the end of the day approaches, around 4:30 p.m., I start to wrap things up. This is a great phrasal verb that means to finish what you're doing. I check my email one last time, update my to-do list for the next day, and tidy up my desk.
Wrap things up is perfect. I do the same. My workday usually ends around 5 p.m. I have a very clear end-of-day routine. I close all my work-related tabs on my computer and write down my top 3 priorities for tomorrow. This helps me to switch off from work mode. To switch off, or to disconnect, is crucial when you work from home. It's the act of mentally finishing work so you can be present for your evening.
That's incredibly important. Creating that boundary between work and personal life is key. So, my workday ends with me packing my bag, saying goodbye to my colleagues, and starting my commute home. And just like that, the main part of the day is done, and we're transitioning into the evening.
Okay, we've covered mornings and workdays, and that was a lot of information. We're really curious about you. Your daily habits are unique, and practicing talking about them is the best way to learn.
That's right. So, we have a question for you. Think about your workday or your typical day. What's one habit you have that helps you be productive? It could be making a to-do list, taking breaks, or maybe something completely different. Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to read about your productivity habits.
And we're back. We've worked, we've commuted, and now we are home. The evening is here. For me, this part of the day is all about decompressing and shifting from work mode to relaxation mode. The very first thing I do when I close my laptop is change out of my work clothes, even though I work from home. I change into something more comfortable, like sweatpants and a t-shirt. It's a small action, but it signals to my brain that the workday is officially over.
That is such a smart habit. I do the exact same thing. The moment I walk through the door, I kick off my shoes and change into what I call my comfy clothes. It's a crucial part of my transition. After that, I usually need about 30 minutes of quiet time. I might just sit on the couch and do nothing, or maybe listen to some calm music. I need this buffer time to unwind after a busy day. To unwind is a fantastic verb that means to relax and let go of stress.
I completely agree. That buffer is necessary. My way of unwinding is often to do some simple household chores. It might sound strange, but doing something physical and mindless, like loading the dishwasher or tidying up the living room, helps me clear my head. I'll put on a podcast and just get things in order. It's a habit that's both productive and relaxing for me.
I can understand that. Creating order out of chaos can be very satisfying. After I've had my quiet time, my next thought is always about dinner. What's for dinner? It's the eternal evening question. I try to cook most nights of the week. I enjoy cooking, plus it's healthier and more affordable than eating out. I might whip up a simple pasta dish or make a big salad. To whip up, something is a great informal way to say you're making something quickly and easily.
Whip up. I like that. I cook most nights as well. I'm not a fancy chef or anything. I stick to simple, healthy meals. I often do meal prep on Sundays, which means I prepare some ingredients or full meals for the week ahead. So, on a weeknight, I might just have to heat up the food I've already made. Meal prep is a huge time saver. On nights when I haven't prepped, I'll cook something from scratch.
What about the nights you don't feel like cooking? We all have them. The days when you're just too tired.
Oh, absolutely. On those nights, my go-to is ordering a pizza or some Thai food. We call this getting takeout or ordering in. It's not the healthiest habit, but sometimes it's exactly what I need. It feels like a treat. I probably get takeout once a week, usually on a Friday to celebrate the end of the work week.
Friday takeout is a classic tradition. I do the same thing. It feels like a reward. After dinner, what does your evening look like? Do you clean up right away?
Yep, I do. I'm a firm believer in cleaning the kitchen immediately after dinner. I wash the dishes, wipe down the counters, and put everything away. I can't relax in a messy environment. I hate the idea of waking up to a dirty kitchen, so I always make sure it's clean before I settle down for the evening.
You're so disciplined, Michael. I'm not as consistent. Sometimes I clean up right away. Other times I'll leave the dishes to soak in the sink and tell myself I'll deal with them in the morning. It's a habit I'm trying to get better at. Once dinner and the potential cleanup are done, that's when my real relaxation time begins. This is my time for hobbies. I might read a book, watch a movie, or catch up on a TV series I'm following. To catch up on. Something means to do something you didn't have time to do earlier.
My after-dinner time is very similar. I'm a big reader, so I usually spend at least an hour reading on the couch. It's my favorite way to escape. I also enjoy watching documentaries. I'm not a huge fan of binge watching an entire series in one go, which is a very popular habit. Binge watching means watching many episodes of a TV show in rapid succession. I find it can make me feel groggy the next day. I prefer to watch one episode or one movie and then switch to something else.
I am definitely guilty of binge watching from time to time, especially on weekends. It's so easy to do when the next episode starts automatically. During the week, though, I try to be more mindful. About an hour before I plan to go to sleep, I start my getting ready for bed routine. Experts say it's a good habit to have a consistent bedtime routine because it signals to your body that it's time to sleep.
What does your bedtime routine involve?
It's pretty simple. I turn off all the bright overhead lights and use a softer lamp instead. Then I make sure to put my phone away. The blue light from screens can interfere with sleep, so I try to avoid screens for at least an hour before bed. I might do some gentle stretching or listen to a calming playlist. Then I'll head to the bathroom, brush my teeth, and change into my pajamas.
My routine is very similar, especially the no screens rule. I find it makes a huge difference in how quickly I fall asleep. Instead of looking at my phone, I read a physical book. I find that even 10 minutes of reading helps my mind slow down. The last thing I do before I get into bed is set my alarm for the next day. I double check it to make sure it's on. It would be a disaster if I forgot.
Oh, double checking the alarm is a non-negotiable step. I do that too. Then I get into bed. I usually read for about 15 more minutes in bed until I feel my eyes getting heavy. The goal is to be asleep by around 11 p.m. I try to get around 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. That's my ideal amount to feel rested.
Me too. I aim for that sleep window as well. My final habit of the day is just thinking about one good thing that happened. It could be something really small. It's a nice little gratitude habit that helps me end the day on a positive note before I drift off to sleep. To drift off is a gentle, peaceful way of saying to fall asleep. And that brings us to the end of the day, ready to start all over again tomorrow.
And there you have it. We've walked you through a full day, from the sound of the alarm clock all the way to drifting off to sleep. We've talked about our good habits, our bad habits, and everything in between. Our goal was to show you that you already have a rich daily life full of routines, and now you have the natural, conversational vocabulary to talk about it.
Let's do a quick recap of some of the most useful phrases we learned today. Instead of my alarm rings, you can say, my alarm goes off. If you sleep a little longer, you hit the snooze button. When you start your day, you can start off with a glass of water. When you're going somewhere, you can say you head to the kitchen or work.
When you're at work and you're very busy, you can say you're swamped with work. When you need to finish for the day, you start to wrap things up. In the evening, you need time to unwind and relax. And if you're making a quick meal, you can say you're going to whip something up. These are the phrases that will make you sound so much more natural.
Exactly. And remember the power of adverbs like always, usually, often, sometimes, and rarely. Using them is key to describing how consistent your habits are. Language is a habit too. The more you practice using these new words, the more automatic they'll become.
So, we want to help you start that habit right now. We have a challenge for you. Your challenge this week is to write 3 sentences in the comments below describing your own daily routine. Try to use at least one new word or phrase you learned from this video. For example, I usually hit the snooze button. After work, I like to unwind by reading. I rarely get takeout for dinner.
That's a perfect challenge. It's a simple, actionable step you can take right now to put your learning into practice. We'll read every single comment and give you feedback. It's a safe space to practice and improve.
We had so much fun sharing our daily habits with you today. We hope you found this lesson helpful and that you feel more confident talking about your life in English. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps our channel.
And be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Hitting the bell is a great habit to have because it means you won't miss our next video, where we'll be back with another practical lesson to help you speak English with confidence.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Keep practicing and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye everyone. Keep up the great work.
Before finishing today's video, if you enjoyed this lesson, don't stop here. Watch a similar video on the left.
Or continue with the full playlist on the right to keep improving your English step by step. And if learning English feels easier here and helps you speak with confidence, subscribe to the channel for simple, practical lessons every day.